I won't starve. Will you? Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. It's one of those things we wish to avoid, right? Yeah, that's why we're preppers. That's why you're here on this channel. That's why you're on a lot of preparedness channels, hopefully. Prepping related channels. And while I'm talking about that, go out and spread the love. Check out all these channels. Did a video recently, a faraway prepper. I haven't really watched many of his videos yet, but there's a lot of little channels out there that have good stuff. It's just, either they're just starting out or, they're not playing the YouTube game. So they're not necessarily big channel. I'm not a big channel. I'm a small channel. I'm amazed though. I don't know what I thought when I first started, but having 28,000 subscribers, that's the size of a town. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty cool. But it's not really about that number. It's more about the difference that I make in each individual's life. And yes, I got smoke coming in here. I'm watching the fire still burning from clearing out all this stuff from the lower field. Tribe member came in here yesterday. I talked about on Patreon what we did, showed it all, and told the whole story. Links in the description below if you want to check out Patreon. It's $1 a month. And while I'm talking about this kind of stuff, the admin stuff, if you like the channel, if you just want to support a prepper channel, please subscribe, hit the notification bell for all, give the videos thumbs up, share the videos, comment below, all those things. And if you want to donate to the channel, there's a little heart with thanks in it. It's like a super thanks. You can donate to the channel if you want to help out the process and the project. I'd be greatly appreciated. But anyway, why do I start that off saying I will not starve? Okay, where I live, here in the Pacific Northwest, I am very adept at identifying wild edibles. Not so much wild medicinals, that's more my wife's side of things, but there's literally food everywhere. And I say, will you starve? Because you may have food storage and all the etc. stuff. I lump it all into one category, just say food storage. But what happens when that runs out? Do you have the ability to replenish it? Growing my own garden, raising your own animals, things like that. But beyond that, this is a multifaceted concept and approach. Having food storage is important. Having the ability to replenish that food storage or not dip into it at all until really need it or limited use of it so it lasts longer is the best idea, right? So food storage, growing your own food, raising your own animals. Then there's also things we talk about and all you guys know about. You got hunting, fishing, trapping, snaring, those kind of things for animals, for game, which is good. But if this is a long drawn out event, kind of like Great Depression, deer almost went extinct in the US during the Great Depression because everybody hunted them because they were hungry. That might happen again. Small game would be probably last a little bit longer. Rabbits, you know how they procreate. Squirrels, stuff like that, And it's one of those things that I understand a large portion of people here that I interact with on YouTube don't eat animals like that because they have paws. I get it. That's, eat what you eat. We all have free will, but there is availability for food out there. And fishing, if you got area for that. Trapping and snaring is usually small game. There's also birds, there's pheasants, turkeys, grouse, quail. There's lots of animals out there that you can hunt. And that's a skill though. It's not just something you don't just grab a gun and go say, I'm gonna hunt for the first time. You may get lucky, yeah, you may, but start practicing things now. It's a skill sets that'll keep you alive. And that's why I'm saying I will not starve, because I have skill sets that enable me to go out and forage tons of food, hunt for protein, fish for protein, etc. So building these skills now is very important. A lot of people are like, well, I have lots of food storage, or I want to emphasize food storage, or I want to emphasize my garden, or raising my animals. And that is all fine and good. That is a great way to have a well-rounded approach, which is what we want to do, because prepping is living insurance, remember? That's important. But skills trump almost everything. Skills with the appropriate gear, you're even better off. So get the stuff you need for these tasks. Traps, snares, stuff like that. There's some you can make, primitive stuff, but why not have good stuff you can procure now and have it standing by? Also, going out and performing these duties, these skills, like hunting, fishing. Where are the fish? What kinds of bait do you use? How much bait do you have in food storage? What about, how do you can you get worms out of the ground? We got lots of worms where I live. So, I mean, seriously, that's a really good source of bait. As well as, anybody's ever been through any kind of survival school, survival training, stuff like that, what bugs are edible? Seriously. I mean, you may be like, oh, I'm not going to eat a bug. I got a year of food storage. Okay, sure. Hopefully you won't. But if you have the skills and the knowledge of how to identify different things like bugs, like animals, and wild edibles, you'll be so much better off. Right now, my 14-year-old boy is in the woods digging up ferns, because ferns, the roots are edible. So he's just learning. I'm letting him do his thing. He's got my my foraging book out there, so he's going out there, he's trying to figure it out. So then whenever we identify some roots, we get some good roots, we will clean them, we will slice them up really thin, we'll throw them in the dehydrator, and then dry can them in a jar, set them in food storage. Always adding to our food storage, as well as practicing skills and building our skills. And usually we try to get some of that stuff from the day, foraging from the day, into the evening meal. That way you're actually eating it. So if there's any kind of thing where your body needs to get used to it, or you need to get used to the flavors and stuff like that, you can do it in a safe, controlled, timely manner. That's really important. Some meals I make were like the whole big, huge pan of veggies all came from either the garden, the field, the driveway, or the woods. Most of it coming from the field, the driveway, and the woods. And then, throwing some beet greens in from the garden. We don't have too many things producing right now, but we are getting beet greens, we're getting lots of turnip greens, we're getting mustard greens. Most of it, what we're getting right now is just greens. Our peas are just now starting to produce, our beans are actually starting, we're actually finally getting some warmth and some sun. Oh, and by the way, I hope you guys like the background. I figured you liked the background, the pretty flowers. And when I did a Patreon video in the same location, I was brain farting the name of these flowers and the poison that they have. They are poisonous flowers. They are very beautiful, but they have, and I just brain farted again. Digitalis. Digitalis is the poison. And I'm still, for some reason, at a loss for the name of the flower. I know what they're called. My memory. That's what happens when you have TBIs. Yeah, my time in the military was interesting and fun, and I loved it. But yeah, there's some long-term side effects of that service. So anyway, have these skills, build these skills to ensure that you won't starve. You don't want to watch your family starve, and it's just, you're going to be way better off, way better prepared, way more well-rounded as a prepper. And I know skills take time, they take effort, because you actually got to go out and do something instead of just ordering something on Amazon. I get it. There's time and place for both. There's time and a place for getting on Amazon and prepping there. There's a time and a place for going to your local restaurant supply store. There's a time and a place for going to the dollar store, Walmart, wherever it may be. But there's also a time to get up, go outside, and do the things. Love that term. It's one of those military terms. Do the things, like embrace the suck. Get outside your comfort zone. There's a lot of them. But anyway. And for one thing, food storage, you might not always be able to count on it, because remember Murphy's Law. Another military thing. What can go wrong will go wrong. So if you have all this food storage, and maybe something happens to it. Maybe it gets stolen, maybe it goes bad, who knows? I mean, It's one of those things, it's kind of like, I look at food storage as kind of like a long-term investment, because prepping is living insurance, and that's what your food storage is. It's like your emergency fund. It's kind of like money you set aside, or like say you put in the stock market or bought bonds or bought property or whatever it is, some investment, gold, silver, whatever it may be, that you took money that you don't need, that you look at as spent. Act like you bought a bunch of pizzas with it and you ate it. Put that money over there and just act like it's gone. It's not money that you need, it's just there. That's what food storage is. The foraging and all this other stuff like that, and building skills and growing your garden, raising your animals, that's kind of like your income, what you're living on every day. That's what you are relying on, and that's what you're sustaining yourself on. That is a really good way to do things. Because the first time you open up that first bucket, that first container, that first bag, whatever it may be for food storage, you just click that stopwatch on your life and how long you're going to live if you don't have the ability to replenish it, or to add to it, or to help it, or to help stretch it. So yeah, good thing. Get out there, learn the skills, do the things so that you won't starve in SHTF or your family. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.